Hey everyone, welcome back to the Deep Dive.
Thanks for having me.
Today we're going to be taking a deep dive into something that I know a lot of people have been thinking about,
Definitely.
and that's how Trump's reelection might impact the war in Ukraine.
Yeah,
It's a really interesting question, and I think one that a lot of people are going to be watching very closely in the coming months and years.
for sure.
The world is a very different place than it was when Trump was elected the first time.
Totally different.
We have the ongoing conflict in Ukraine, and the global political climate is pretty tense right now.
It is, and I think everyone is sort of waiting to see what Trump's playbook is going to be in this new world order, particularly when it comes to Ukraine.
Absolutely. So let's jump right into it.
hmm
One of the big things that we remember from Trump's first term was this America First policy.
Right.
So for our listeners who maybe aren't totally familiar with that, can you just give us like a super quick rundown of what that means?
Yeah. America First basically means prioritizing American interests above all else, and oftentimes that means reducing commitments on the international stage.
Okay.
And if Trump really goes full throttle with America First this time around, it could have a major impact on organizations like NATO.
Right. The military alliance, that's kind of been the cornerstone of Western security for decades.
Exactly.
So I'm curious, what happens to European security if the U.S. starts pulling back from those commitments?
Mm-hmm.
And how might that impact us here at home?
Yeah, that's a really important question.
Yeah.
Any shift in NATO dynamics is definitely going to have ripple effects across the globe. And, it could impact everything from global trade and economic stability to the balance of power between some of the biggest players in the world.
Right.
So, for instance, European countries that have been relying on the U.S. for security might have to significantly increase their own defense spending. Or they might even have to seek out new alliances. And that kind of realignment could create instability and uncertainty, which ultimately impacts us here at home in terms of things like investment trade, even energy prices.
Right. So it's all kind of interconnected in a
Oh,
way.
absolutely. Everything is connected.
That's a great kind of overview of the potential fallout.
Yeah.
So now let's talk about Russia specifically.
Okay.
Our sources suggest that Trump might try to ease relations with Russia.
Interesting.
And this is where things get really fascinating for me.